Hola culés, welcome to Flick's Tactics. Tonight I am so excited to bring this video to you, not only because Barcelona win the Copa del Rey, but they did it in dramatic fashion against Real Madrid, El Clasico. It does not get any better than this, and I get it. They were super frustrated with this game, and in big part is because they played their best throughout the whole game. And I can see how it could be frustrating for Real Madrid that they gave their best, they were winning the game. But Barcelona, in theme of what is this year, they play like the best team in the world. And when they don't play like the best team in the world, and if they're losing, they don't panic, they stay composed. And in this game, again, once again, coming back from behind, just like they did against Atletico, just like they did against Celta de Vigo, just like they did time and time again in the Champions League against Benfica as well. And this Barca team is so resilient, is so different, and that just broke Real Madrid at the end of the game. We all saw what Rudiger did. We all saw what Vinicius, jumping on the fleet in the field, trying to throw stuff at the refs. That was just insane. But to me, I've never seen Real Madrid broke like that, and that was all credit to Barcelona. And in this game, I thought that it was a tale of two halves. Real Madrid gave it their best in the second half. They got annihilated in the first half, and Barcelona was a bit wasteful, for lack of a better word. They were missing a lot of chances. They were missing a lot of opportunities where Real Madrid was giving them a lot of space. Even though they came out on the first half with a low block, they do not know how to play the low block. Look, right now Real Madrid has literally nine. They literally have nine players in this area of the field right here. So sorry about that. So they literally have uh, nine players in this area of the field, and they're not defending it very well. There's a ton of spacing, and it's the reason why Barcelona was able to find so much space. Then initially, what they wanted to do is they wanted Tchouaméni, who, by the way, who played an incredible game. He was a warrior throughout the whole game. He was playing a one-on-one with Dani Olmo, and what Ancelotti was doing right, I thought, was that he knew that the difference maker in this team and the playmaker, the player who can break somebody's back, was Dani Olmo, and I thought he sent Chouameni basically on a one-on-one throughout the entirety of the match, and he was a nightmare. He was a force, and Dani Olmo just really couldn't get open, and really just could, when he got the ball, really just didn't have any clarity of what he wanted to do in this game, and that was all credit to Chouameni, and one of the best games I've ever seen him play, to be honest. And but Real Madrid, Barcelona had more options, of course, and one of those options was Gerard Martin. And Gerard Martin had a ton of spacing in this game because he's not a profile player. So Real Madrid was letting him beat let's let him beat us. Like, if he's gonna beat us, let him beat us. And at the end of the day, they were right, because Gerard Martin had a ton of opportunities. Barcelona was attacking the left flank a lot, because they were leaving Gerard Martin wide open. The problem was Gerard Martin doesn't have the same creativity, and it played right into the hands of Real Madrid. Even though they left them open, Barcelona was able to create opportunities, but they didn't capitalize. And most of the time, it was due to Gerard Martin, whether that was making a vanilla pass or making a through pass that didn't convert to anything. And for the most part, it played into their hands. Gerard Martin did not have a lot of progressions, did not have a lot of great passes or clarity passes or through passes or crosses or anything like that. And with the moments where he did, Rudiger was there, Asensio was there to just block that off. So that's the one thing in Barcelona. They use that spacing to create a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, they just didn't have as much clarity per se, for lack of a better word. But in this case, Pedri Gonzalez is not going to take, like I said, he doesn't like taking the obvious pass, and he wants to go with Lamine Yamal, who creates something out of nowhere against Frank Garcia, who was Frank Garcia at the moment. And, that's the thing with Lamine Yamal. He can create something out of nowhere. And I do think that Rudiger here makes a big mistake because Rudiger is thinking this is going way wide. And even Thibaut Courtois, I thought in this play was a little soft. And to their surprise, this ball is as close as it gets without even hitting the post. As you can see, it goes really, really close. And I think, Rudiger was actually thinking here. You see how he backs off? He was actually thinking this ball was way off. And, but I think Real Madrid was really lucky there not to concede. I think both of them, whether it's Rudiger and Thibaut Courtois, had a very, very vanilla attitude against, that play in particular. This is a play where Rafinha's crosses right now are a thing of beauty, and that would give Real Madrid a lot of problems in this game too. But even though he wasn't on his best stuff, he had a lot of opportunities. This is gonna be one of the first saves that Courtois is actually going to do, and that person will be Jules Koundé taking advantage and kind of warning Real Madrid that he was going to be a force tonight, and he got a really good header out of this, and I think that Thibaut Courtois made a great save as well. Unfortunately, he gets the header way to the middle. Had he done it to the right or left, I think would have been a different story. So this is still the first half, but it's a sign of things to come from also the Jude Bellinghams of the world, and I thought that he was very, very good. I also think that he had a really good game, especially in the second half. I do think that he makes a mistake on this play that I am going to highlight, but I want you guys to I want to kind of set the table for the kind of game that Jude Bellingham had in kind of struggles that that, for example, a Frankie de Jong was one of the reasons why Jude Bellingham was able to succeed. This is a game that I think that having Marc Asado would have been a little bit better, and that's not saying that Frankie de Jong shouldn't be starting. I think the combo that we have between Pedri Gonzalez and Frankie de Jong is second to none. But we do struggle in this transition plays and this counters, especially when Jude Bellingham is going to cut. He's going to basically go left, and then after going left, he's going to see how soft Frankie de Jong is, and just gonna cut outside, and then he's going to find Vinicius Junior. So as you can see, that's way too easy. He basically Frankie de Jong is just walking the pitch and not pressing. So what Vinicius Junior is going to do, he knows that he's really fast, so he's going to do a 180 here and just exploit the spacing. And the one thing that I do want to see, what I love seeing actually, is how Pau Cubarsí never loses track of the ball. He knows where Vinicius Junior is going, but he's not losing track of what Jude Bellingham is doing and what he's about to do, and he's just gonna walk back, looking at him. As you see, he knows that he wants to go find Vinicius Junior, but he follows the ball, and I think Jude Bellingham makes a little bit of a mistake, underestimating Pau Cubarsí, and he thinks that Pau Cubarsí is just gonna turn his back on him and not even going to see what the kind of pass that he wants to do. I think that this pass should have been more in between the lines, in between Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí, and the pass is it's too close to Pau Cubarsí. But the credit here is to Pau Cubarsí and how he never lost track of that ball, and he's able to track it down and slide just in time. And you can see Pedri Gonzalez here. So now, a couple of things that happen, and this is gonna be the play where Pedri scores. And a couple of things that I thought that happened in this play is one, Jude Bellingham, it's lamenting the pass that could have been, that should have been, that never was, and also Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo and Jude Bellingham are both just too, you know, lamenting what the play couldn't be. It's not an excuse not to press, and it's kind of what where the mistake lies on the Pedri goal. Pedri was able to bang this goal all by himself, and it was mainly in part due to Jude Bellingham, making gestures and Rodrigo walking the pitch. So right away, as you're about to see, you see how Pedri Gonzalez doesn't waste any time. He puts a beautiful pass, and Lamine Yamal really softly gets to it. And the thing going on here is Lamine Yamal is taking a lot of Real Madrid's defense right now because, as you can see, he's got Fran Garcia, of course, but Fran Garcia is gonna get plenty of help in this, and Tchouaméni, and I think Tchouaméni is actually selling out just to help, Fran Garcia here, and he's leaving Dani Olmo wide open as well. And as we're about to see, also who's coming in to try to stop Lamine Yamal is going to be Juan Fede Valverde, who in reality should be going towards Dani Olmo or staying in the middle for a diagonal pass. And this is one of my favorite things from Lamine Yamal when he does these diagonal crosses and into space. And as you can see, he waits exactly the moment. And as you can see right now, there are three players in front of him, and he is taking all these marks and just basically widen. He just basically widen the field and makes so much empty space. And like in this whole area of the field is just wide open, and just nobody's here. And this is my thing. I think that Jude Bellingham should be around right here, and maybe Rodrigo maybe like around here, but they are both walking the pitch. I saw the video where they're just literally walking, and Pedri it's literally jogging. He's jogging towards this area to see what he can do attacking wise, and nobody follows him. And this is one of the reasons why Pedri is going to come in wide open, because like I said, Jude Bellingham on the right, Rodrigo on the left are literally just watching him jog back on the field, and he's able to score an amazing goal. And that's just kind of the story of the first half, and just got dominated. I thought Real Madrid, actually, what I want to say is Barcelona in the first half was, they look faster, they look bigger physically, they look stronger. When they lost the ball, they were pressing, and Real Madrid just was suffocated. I think it was a tell of like Barcelona playing really well and Real Madrid just having a terrible game in tactics, in game planning, and attitude throughout the whole game. But this is going to be a warning. I think there's a couple of things that happened. This is Jude Bellingham, the Jude Bellingham goal, no goal, and one of the first things I think that happening here is, so I think that Gerard Martin is showing the lack of cohesiveness with this team and playing the high line as well. So he should be pushing up. He's not supposed to. He almost. Can you imagine if this pass would have gone to Rodrigo instead of Jude Bellingham? Then this would have been a good goal. And in part, it's because this is basically Gerard Martin's fault for not pushing up. So he should be more towards with Kubarsi in this play, and he's basically almost leaving them on side here. And he was so lucky that at the end of the day, it's Jude Bellingham who gets this pass. If Rodrigo gets this pass, for example, then that would have been a big problem for Barcelona, because Gerard Martin made a huge mistake on this play, and instead it's Jude Bellingham who gets there. So the one thing I want to say about this play is to me this is a clear-cut penalty, and that is going to be on the one and only Pau Cubarsí. I think he gets held on this play big time, and the one thing that really bothers me is that take a look at the referee. He's well in position to see what's going on. He's staring at the play. He's staring at the ball, and it's so easy to see when a player's shirt's getting pulled. This is no way, to me. There's no way this is not a penalty. I have no idea how the referee, as you can see, Pau Cubarsí is clearly, in my opinion, he's clearly getting to this ball. if he doesn't get held. And it was so frustrating, and not only because he can clearly get to that ball, but there's also a lineman right here, and he's literally staring at the play, and he doesn't say anything to the refs, and he's clearly looking at it. Look, you see? Do you see where he is? He's I'm just gonna play it just a little bit more. You can see it on the screen, as you can see right there. Do you see how he needs to be telling the referee that this is a penalty, and he saw it plain and straight. You cannot tell me otherwise. There's no way he didn't see that shirt getting pulled. So despite Barcelona, dominating on that first half, we were not able to capitalize every single opportunity we had. Mbappe came in the second half, and I thought that changed things for Real Madrid, and they also would begin to do different things because they brought Lucas Modric in the second half, and they also brought Arda Güler in the second half, and that gave Barcelona a ton of problems. So to me, the leader on the second half was clearly Jude Bellingham. I think he was making a lot of stuff happening in the midfield area. He was recoveries with making something out of nothing, making great through balls, making just Pedri worked his ass off, and Pedri was tired in the second half, and it's one of the reasons why Hansi Flick took him off at around like the 84th, 80th minute or something like that. And as we're about to see, you see how you Bellingham just basically slides and gets this ball recovery, and he has so much energy, so much power, so much composure. He slides, recoveries, gets up, and that's a complete 360 on Barcelona here, and that is just incredible here. And he's able to just kind of clean up the whole field, and finds it with the through pass. Finds Vinicius Jr., who doesn't capitalize this, but this was an amazing play. This is one of the most impactful plays I've seen Jude Bellingham making, not only just attacking wise, but as you can see, doing basically everything by himself with the big incredible slide recovery, and then getting up and putting Barcelona on. Look, you see that? That's an amazing pass. Vinicius Jr. should have probably more poised in this play, and he just lets the ball go too far, and that closes his angle pretty much. And I think Chesney does a very good job here on a double shot, because he shoots, and then he saves it, and then he gets up. He gets up right away, because Vinicius Jr. very, very sneaky, takes another shot really, really, really close to the goal here, and had Chesney stayed down, he Vinicius would have scored here, and he was very, very, very close from scoring, guys. This is a matter of seconds, and this is gonna be another play where Jude Bellingham again making those through passes in the second half. As you can see, this is the 53rd minute, and Jude Bellingham already had 3 plays in the second half where he gave us a lot of problems. I think that Ancelotti saw a few things, and I think Jude Bellingham is being sent to attack and be more aggressive, and it showed in the second half how they were able to exploit some of the spacing that Barcelona was leaving out, especially with someone as fast as Kylian Mbappe, and because he's so quick on his feet, Barcelona just really wasn't closing the gaps on him. That's when he had the ball. And as we can about to see right here, you see that's an amazing pass that he's giving to Kylian Mbappe. And like I said, because he's so quick on the ball, because he's so quick on his feet, he's so difficult to defend. And Barcelona were just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting. Didn't want to commit a penalty, because that's one of the things that are really underrated about Kylian Mbappe, is his ability to just with one move just beat you. So if you think you're sliding, or if you think you're closing the gap, you can hit his legs, or he's really smart about diving at the same time. So it's very dangerous when it comes to penalty kicks. He got, I think, like maybe 5 or 6 penalties this year just by basically being so quick, and I think Flick saw that, and it told his team not to commit fouls, not to commit boneheaded plays, and that's why Barcelona was basically letting him let him beat us. Let him beat you, let him make the play, and just close the gap, instead of just, you see how Barcelona is making a big point of emphasis of not selling for the tackle here. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting, basically just rope doping the letting letting Mbappe. And as you can see, at the end of the day, he didn't know what to do exactly, whether that was shooting or scoring, because he was waiting for Barcelona to make the tackle and wait for contact and try to get that penalty. And that Barcelona did a really good job at that. And again, here's going to be a little bit more waiting, more waiting. Barcelona did a very, very good job. But that also, creates a lot of opportunity for Kylian Mbappe to exploit some spacing and try to take a shot. But Barcelona, like I said, they were not selling out. I love that about this team, because selling out sometimes it opens up the space, or you can, commit a foul inside the box. And Barcelona was literally just waiting here. And Vinicius Junior, he tried to, do basically playmaking here, and try to cut inside, and just didn't have the strength to take this shot. I don't know if he was tired or whatever. This is gonna be another sign of Pedri Gonzalez. This is the 58th minute, one of his mistakes that could have led to a goal here. And Pedri Gonzalez, you starting to see signs where he was gassed. And this is Lucas Modric here, basically pressing him and putting him on a terrible spot. And Pedri, kind of was overconfident, thinking that he could pass to Jules Koundé, but he doesn't get a good touch on the ball. And I think Vinicius Junior gets a really good read and gets a really good shot too. Almost was a golazo here. So in the second half, Barcelona had a lot of struggle with a really, really fresh Kylian Mbappe. I thought him coming in the second half worked to perfection for Real Madrid, because this is a very difference maker type of player, and his speed was second to none. And coming in the second half fresh, with fresh legs, just gave Barcelona a run for their money, and they were struggling a lot to keep up with his pace, to keep up with his mobility. And as we can see here on a transition play counter attack, he takes Inigo Martinez and basically leaves him in the dust, because Inigo Martinez slides, and Mbappe is very, very smart and just basically exploits the space. This would have been an amazing opportunity for Real Madrid, because there's so much spacing here for Kylian Mbappe. And if Chesney comes out, he could easily find Vinicius Junior and display. Barcelona is in really bad position here, and Frankie De Jong knows that, and I don't blame him. This is why you should be making a tackle like this. You should do that every time, because had he not done that, that's 100% Mbappe scoring on this play. 1,000%, as a matter of fact. And I think he makes a really good tackle here. Very intentional. Takes a yellow card. He's not the last man. So a lot of Madridistas, of course, they're not objective. They're not watching the games. They're not rewatching. They're not studying. So they're gonna say that this is a red card, but this is clearly not a red card, because as we can see, Kubarsi is the last man on this play, not Frankie De Jong. And as a matter of fact, there's two other players next to him, so that's not a red card. So this leads to this would lead to a free kick from Kylian Mbappe. And I thought the Barcelona didn't get organized in this play, and I just saw it coming. I didn't think that Frankie De Jong was particularly okay here. He's in no man's land right now. I don't think he's gonna block a shot. I know he wants to go for the shot that Kylian Mbappe is about to take here, but there's no really communication going on throughout this whole time. I don't see Barcelona communicating very well. I don't see also Chesney. This is one of the mistakes from Chesney as well. I don't see Chesney communicating with them, and I think it's one of the reasons why Barcelona just didn't get settled here. And Chesney gets this shot basically to his side, because he's not being as concentrated as he should be. As you can see, you don't see Mbappe right now on the screen, but he's about to take the shot, and I don't think Chesney is even ready for this shot. And that's basically him leaving the spot right here. And I I think Barcelona just was not settled here, and that was just kind of the problem. Okay, so this is the second goal for Real Madrid, and a few things. The very first thing is I want to say is thank you, Carlo Ancelotti, for leaving this kid on the bench for most of the season. He's a great player, man. He's one of the best corner kickers, one of the best crossers. He gave Gerard Martin, as soon as he came in, a lot of problems. You can totally see the difference. This is why I said that for Real Madrid to have a chance of beating Barcelona, I thought that Arda Güler needed to start. Fede Valverde needed to be on the as a right back, and I thought that having him instead of Rodrigo would create a lot more problems, and it showed. Rodrigo did next to nothing on the first half, and Arda Güler gave so many problems to Gerard Martin. It's crazy, and this is gonna be yet another amazing cross from Arda Güler, who basically very smartly finds Chouameni here. And what is happening is that Barcelona is not playing a one-on-one. I do think that a lot of times where if you're in front of the player, you don't really see. If you are Koundé, if you're in front of the player, you don't really see where he's going or what he's gonna do. And when he comes in right behind you with more power, with more momentum, and you're just basically a sitting duck, I know they're gonna come in and get this ball, and that's literally what happens here. And by himself, and in a weird way, Jude Bellingham here trying to get to this ball actually kind of blocks Jules Koundé, and Chouameni gets to this ball really easily and scores an amazing goal. And let's give them credit. They got this game. They put us on the ropes. But again, 2-1, 81th minute, 81st minute, Barcelona, just keep coming, patient, patience, patience, and they're so resilient. And as we're about to see, Barcelona was still trying to create, and Lamine Yamal here, something out of nothing. This is the Leo Messi play. It's what I like to call it, and I think he's always so unpredictable because you don't know if he's cutting inside, he's cutting outside, he's taking a shot. I actually thought that Thibaut Courtois made a great save. This was so close to the post. I think this shot hits the post and goes in 1,000 times, and just gets a really good save here. And this is gonna be a play where throughout the whole game, I thought that, Chouameni did a really good job on that midfield. Jude Bellingham, they both did a very, very good job. And Lucas Modric, playing like a man-to-man here. And Lucas Modric did also a really good job coming in for 45 minutes. I think he gave Real Madrid all he had in this game as well. And it really showed. But, again, one of his best games, Lamine Yamal. Well, I guess it's an overstatement. I don't think it's the best game for Lamine Yamal, but that's the thing. Not having his best stuff, not having his best game, and still walks out with a lot of plays that he made. He was just keep coming at Real Madrid. He's literally, guys, for lack of a better word here, I'm not gonna be too tactical about it. Lamine Yamal is him. He is creating so many opportunities, and he has Real Madrid on the ropes. He has done really, really well against Real Madrid. Real Madrid has not been able to stop Lamine Yamal, not even for one game. Every game he's either scored or given assists. Like in this game, he had 2 assists, and what a beautiful pass in stride to Ferran Torres here on this play. It was incredible to see, and he sees the spacing, and he's about to attack. As we can see here, Real Madrid is doing a really good job of that midfield. You can see how there's literally 5 players in the midfield area, but we have a kid that can break their backs, and break their backs is what he did on this play because he found Ferran, none other than Ferran. I think that Courtois makes a mistake. I think that, Rudiger here is on one leg. Courtois should have stayed, and he thought that he can get to this ball, but Ferran Torres is really, really fast, and he got a soft touch. I thought that this ball was going in very, very slow. I felt like it took so long for that ball to get there, and I just kept looking at it. I kept looking at it. I'm like, come on, come on. He finally gets it in the back of the net. I think that Rudiger maybe has a shot here at this ball. Had he been 100%, probably gets to this defensive play in the beginning. But even after the shot, if Rudiger would have been healthy, I think maybe he gets to it. But he's not 100%, and it's just too slow to get to this ball. There's no way he can get there. And that was a big clutch Barcelona opportunity. All right, this is Barcelona's last play of the game. This is going to be the Rafinha penalty, no penalty. And again, Pedri Gonzalez being a force, still on the field, a warrior. Hey, he's tired, he's gassed, but still making amazing through passes here. He finds Rafinha, who's going to take a one-on-one on Asensio. And the thing with Rafinha is he's a very smart player. And I think Rafinha here, he knows that Asensio is a player who tends to panic. He tends to be a little reckless. And he's waiting for the contact because initially I thought this was a penalty. I thought this was a penalty when I saw it in real time, and then I saw the replay and I was like, damn, Rafinha. He tried to get him, and as you can see, he's gonna wait for the contact in his back, and he's just gonna go. He's gonna go down. He does an amazing job, guys. Honest to God, and it's not a pen. And I thought, like I said, just like I thought that the Ferran Torres was a pen, I thought the Kubarsi was a pen. I can tell you, this is not a pen. I was literally texting my Real Madridista friend that I have, and telling him that that was not a pen. And if Barcelona won that game like that, I would have taken it, but I wouldn't have liked it because I didn't think that was a penalty. But it would have been justice because the other two were penalty kicks, of course. This is going to be a great opportunity here that Ferran Torres kind of wasted and just takes almost shoots it wide, but almost had it in between the bars. I think this ball goes inside. I don't think it gives enough time to Thibaut Courtois to get to this ball, to be honest with you. I thought, throughout the whole game, Ferran Torres gave a lot of issues to Real Madrid. Real Madrid really just didn't know how to defend him. I thought he was attacking the spacing. I thought he was very active with his shots, really active, moving CBs around so that the Fermins, the Dani Olmos, the Lamine Yamals, opening up space for Rafinha. I thought that, even though it wasn't the best game by Ferran Torres, he had a very good game off the ball, to say the least. Okay, we need to talk a little bit about Fermín López. We need to talk a little bit about Eric Garcia. Fermín López looked really electric. Kind of was what Barcelona needed in this moment. I'm so glad that he brought him in for Dani Olmo, who ultimately struggled throughout the whole game, in main part because Tchouaméni was a really bad matchup for him, I thought. And actually also Eric Garcia in this game, you can see the difference when we don't get the creativity that we get with Frankie de Jong, but we get the defense. This is going to be a great recovery from Jude Bellingham, but at the same time, you see, Jude Bellingham was just a force in this game. But guess what? He doesn't get a clear opportunity to create anything because Eric Garcia, is there to make a tackle, to make a defensive play. It's a foul, yes, I have to say it, but at the same time, having Eric Garcia was big time. Like, I'm just telling you guys, on the midfield, defending and everything in the second half, at the end of the second half and the overtime was just huge. Those were great substitutions that Hansi Flick made, and this is going to be another cross from Fermín López, who just attacking so much space. This is going to be the goal from Ferran Torres, who gets disallowed for being offsides. I never thought he even had a chance, but it's good to note that that how active Fermín López was as soon as he came in. He was much better than Dani Olmo. So I think it's between Dani Olmo and Fermín López, because Fermín López level is really good too. I think it's kind of a push, one or the other. I think Dani Olmo, it's better, it's more technical, has more abilities, more playmaking abilities, and I think Fermín López is just more electric. So it's just whatever you need at the moment, that is the right play, whether that's putting in Dani Olmo second half or putting in Fermín López. I actually love having the electricity, having the energy of Fermín López in the first half, and having playmaking abilities like Dani Olmo in the second half, if I had to pick. Again, Eric Garcia and Fermín in this sequence in overtime were the best attackers, because they were basically fresh, and they were making connections, and they were making a lot of Real Madrid run a lot. And as you can see, there's a really tired Jude Bellingham here at the same time that he's not able to get to this pass, and Eddie Garcia gets to him first. Gavi and Fermin Lopez almost had a golazo because he doesn't get a good touch on it, but I think he hits it with both legs, and it almost went in. Like, it almost went in. You can see the ball. It's hard to see it right now, but the ball is like right here, and I thought that this is unfortunate that Fermin Lopez cannot get these shots on target. It's driving me crazy. He needs to get shots on target. Let Courtois save it. Let Courtois take it to corner kick. Do something, dude. But just keep shooting it wide, man. I think he needs to be more poised, more concentrated. He gets good. He's a good shot taker. So I don't know why this season he's just shooting everything wide. And this is a great missed opportunity here, unfortunately. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of the match. That moment, I am going to tell my grandkids where I was, what I did in my living room, and how crazy I went when I watched this play develop. Amazing Barcelona moving here. They have a triangle, Gavi. They have Rafinha here. They have Inigo Martinez in this play as well, and that's a fell through pass there. Modric gets a good recovery. He wants to get to ball to Brahim Diaz. I don't think this pass is bad at all. This pass, a lot of people have been saying on Twitter that this pass is ill-advised. I don't think so. This pass is a very, very normal pass. The problem here is that, I don't know if it's fatigue, but, Brahim Diaz is one of the players who came in the second half, and he just waits and waits and waits. And you cannot tell me that a super tired player who just played 115 minutes can beat you to this ball, Koundé. And that's basically the difference in the game. This is El Clasico. This is a final. Nobody wants to go home without silverware, right? Nobody wants to do that. And for a player who just played 115 minutes to beat you to this and be more poised and be more press you and just wants it more. Who wants it more? And I think Brahim Diaz just waits for this ball too long. Koundé, that's the difference in the game. Having the energy to get to this ball is the difference in the game, guys. How he intercepts this ball, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's a right back, for God's sake. How is he so close to get to this ball? I have no idea, but I'm just so glad that he did because he's able to get a good shot. And, ladies and gentlemen, bada bing, bada boom, Barcelona takes the game from Real Madrid in an incredible fashion. This is a movie. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. This is literally like somebody wrote a script of what is the more dramatic finish to a game. This is the more dramatic finish to a game you'll ever see in the world, man. Like, this is, you can grab all the storylines, you can grab all the things that happen in this game and make a perfect movie with a perfect ending, and this is what it would look like. And unfortunately for Real Madrid, Barcelona came back once again. It hurts them. They lost their minds at the end of the game. They were throwing stuff. They were just blaming the ref. A referee that didn't give the penalty kick to Ferran Torres, that didn't give the red card to Tchouaméni on that play on Dani Olmo. The referee that didn't give the penalty on Kubarsi that would have gotten to that ball. And quite honestly, this game does not get this dramatic with one Balde in this game. Had we had Balde, he would have exploited all the spacing that Real Madrid gave in the first half, and it just would have been over in the first half. 2-0 or 3-0. I'm just being honest. In the first half, this game is 3-0 with Balde playing for Barcelona, and unfortunately he wasn't available, and it led to just a beautiful, magical matchup, and Barcelona was able to go on top of Real Madrid and win this game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you. I make a lot of effort making this video, so if you just can hit the like button, subscribe, it really means the world to me. So let's get it. I'll catch you guys on the next video after the Inter Milan Barcelona game.